bites in you.
Hey guys, we were just talking about how we're in Miami, Florida, and I have about 50 mosquito bites on each foot.
That's more than 50.
You don't want to see this up close.
She has mosquito bites underneath the bottom of her foot.
It's honestly completely fucked.
This is so many mosquito bites.
It's an insane amount. Well, that's Florida.
Stop bitching.
I'm gonna stop bitching.
What's up, guys?
Hello, everybody.
We're back.
I'm excited about today.
I'm so excited.
I'm excited about this right now. Because nobody knows that this is like 60% of what we talk about.
Yeah, I mean, I feel nervous because of how much I care about this.
I know, me too. But we'll do more than one.
Yeah. So we'll make sure to do more stuff about meditation. But basically, the guy who we're doing this with today, Jeff Warren, you introduced me to him.
Yeah.
He does this 30 days intro to meditation on this app called Calm. And it was like pretty much the most life-changing meditation thing I've done.
Same.
Because I was meditating for like 2 years, and it was like a thing that I would do for like 14 days, and then I would stop, and then I would...
So what prompted you to start meditating? Like, why did you have like a thing?
Should we bring him on?
Yeah, let's bring him on.
I'm going to bring him on.
Okay.
I think this is how you do this. Okay, so how do you... Can you search their name?
That's a lot of people.
You can search.
Oh, there we go. I don't think he's watching yet.
He's not watching yet.
Okay.
Hey, Jeff, come watch.
Oh.
Okay, we'll wait for Jeff.
Also, his name is maybe try underscore first.
Is there an underscore first?
Uh-huh. No, not yet.
You want to check his Instagram and see what it is exactly?
Well, it's 11:01. We're a little bit early to the party.
We're excited. Oh, Jeff's here. Okay, I see him.
Okay, great. I'm here. There we go.
I just invited Jeff.
Waiting for Jeff Warren.
Jeff Warren declined.
Jeff Warren declined.
Okay, well he'll come, I guess. Jeff, send me another "I'm here" message.
If anything, we can do what we did on the Senorita one, FaceTime.
Guys, yeah, we don't have a good reputation when it comes to
technology.
Instagram lives.
What?
Why is it not letting me do that? You want to try?
Sure. Oops. Boob was about to come out.
So click those two little smiley faces.
Where?
Jeff, if you see this, type "I'm here."
Also, you can look at your DMs, right? That's how you.
Send.
Try searching him one more time. Try it.
It's like, welcome to Instagram Live with us.
Oh,
it's not working when I click on it.
Okay, wait. Let's see.
All right. Okay, so just click on it.
Still here.
Go live with Jeff Warren.
Go.
Okay, Jeff.
Jeff, we're requesting you right now.
Accept.
Click accept. It says waiting for Jeff Warren at the bottom.
Yes.
Yeah!
We did it.
Masters
of technology.
For us.
Jeff, so good to meet you.
Great to meet you guys.
Jeff, I've been hearing your voice for 30 days, but I didn't know what you looked like until now.
It's so weird to hear you speak now because you're basically our conscience.
100%. You're the better half of our brains.
I'm now people's weird inner voice. I'm like the inner critic you always wanted.
You really are.
No, you're the inner cheerleader.
Yeah.
We're the inner critic.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So we were just talking about how we got introduced to your program on Calm, how to meditate for 30 days, and basically have tried to convince everybody that we know, including our families, to do it because it helped us so much. And we were just talking about just meditation in general, and I was just curious, like what made you guys want to start meditating?
Well, I was saying how listening to your 30 days was the first time that I was like doing meditation without pressure, which I think was so important because I was able to even just like put the headphones in my dad's ears and let him listen And he was able to just do it without any pressure. And I
Yeah.
think that is like the hardest part about meditation is figuring out how to do this without,
Totally.
you know, that pressure to be perfect. I think the most important thing you talk about, which you can kind of start into more detail about, is how meditation isn't about clearing your mind, but it's about these reps, leaving and coming back. And every time you leave and come back, that's curling a muscle to build that strength. And that changed both of our entire view on what meditation is.
Because I think when you first start, like I know for me, I really wanted to start meditating because I feel like I have like a busy mind. I feel like I have like so much monkey mind. I've struggled with anxiety a lot, and I was just like, I went from self-help book to self-help book, like trying to like, figure it out. And I feel like meditation has been the thing that has been the most transformative for me in like changing my patterns, becoming aware of my patterns, and realizing that you don't have to be, you're not like a victim of whatever your mind is right now. Your mind is literally neuroplasticity, and science has shown that with doing meditation and with practicing, just like going to the gym and working out your muscles, you get stronger. Your brain is this thing that changes and can change over time. And so I feel like I like read so many self-help books, and when I really started committing but like when I really started committing to a meditation practice and doing it like at least 15 minutes a day, I started to notice some really big changes. And I think for me, it came out of the need to just do something different, because I felt like I was really suffering from like incessant thought and patterns that I still have, but I feel like there's so much, the thing that meditation really gives you is this awareness. And I feel like with meditation, it's hard to explain until you do it, and then you start to see the results.
Well, I mean, I'm happy to talk a little bit about all this. This is my favorite subject in the world. Just for hearing from you guys, though, like you said, it's made a difference. Like how would you describe the difference? Like how would you describe what it feels like, having done 50 minutes a day or whatever you do, both you guys, and like versus not doing it? Like what is
for me, it's very simple. It's this moment of before reacting, I have a little like a pause moment where I can be like, is this who I want to be?
Totally.
Or do I want to just like, we can talk more about equanimity after, but like, or do I want to just let this pass? Like, is it actually okay?
You respond instead of react.
Exactly. You choose how you want your day to go instead of your day choosing for you,
Totally.
And that's the difference for me.
I think for me, the biggest thing is not identifying with my thoughts and identifying with that voice in my head, whether that voice in my head is the worrier or the inner critic, or the voice in my head that's like, these are all the things that could go wrong. Like not identifying with that voice and just being able to have more clarity. Like one of the things that I love about the way that you teach meditation, especially in the How to Meditate for 30 Days, is that you talk about the 4 muscle groups that are exercise and meditation: concentration and being able to focus, which is so important for.
Do you want to explain those 4?
Yeah, so I mean, I love hearing how different people talk about what it does for them. My kind of overview summary is meditation makes space. That we're sort of, we don't kind of realize how crowded we are in our own minds. We're crowded with the urgency, our own preoccupations, our own moods, our own patterns of rumination. It's like they just kind of fill up our world, and we think that how we are is sort of fate. So the essence of a meditation practice is really beginning to show you that there's more space than you realize, that actually being inside these little tunnels or trances of our own preoccupations is just an option, that we can start to get a little bit more space. And when you get more space, you have more sanity. It's like when you're on, you can choose how you want to respond. Do I want to just go along automatic with the situation? Like somebody triggers me and I get pissed and I respond in this particular way all the time. Or it's like, actually, is this what I really need to do?
Actually, this might just be okay.
Totally. Like you take a breath, and then instead of going here, which you've gone a million times in your life, you go there, and you're like, oh, you didn't even realize that there's a button in your brain that you can actually go a different way, and that's like the beginning of change.
Totally. And
huge.
Yeah.
So Jeff, I mean, I think the thing for me, which is why this is so important, I think for us to do on Instagram, is like, I know there's a lot of people here who may be interested in meditation and may not, but I think there's probably more people here who've never meditated before than not. And I think like the thing that you did for us was showed us that it's not hard and it's not a big deal. I mean, at one point you in the meditation, Jeff goes, he's trying to explain to you to like zoom in on a point in your body, and then he goes, I mean, or you could just like breathe, because we're not really doing anything right now, so you could just like relax and breathe. And that was like the most freeing feeling as a person who wanted to become better. And I think it's really important for people to know that,
because I think sometimes you feel like meditation from the outside is like, you know, this like you have to like become Buddha and achieve like transcendence, and that's not really what it is at all. It's literally like it's strengthening muscle groups in your brain that over time make you a better human. Basically,
and those muscle groups are the basic muscle groups of being a human being. That's the thing. It's like meditation just makes it deliberate. But everybody you know who's cool, who's genuinely cool, like they know how to keep a level head in an intense situation, or they know how to kind of be around people, the kind of wisdom you get around cool grandmas and old folks who kind of learn the lesson of getting over themselves. That's meditation. Meditation doesn't belong to a tradition. It doesn't belong to a particular culture. It doesn't belong to any expert. It's like it's a human thing to learn how to be with dignity in your life. And we're surrounded by models that way. All the practice does is make it explicit.
Yeah, totally. And that's why we call it like a practice, because it's literally like you're practicing these qualities so that they become more ingrained in you.
You're practicing being human. You're practicing what it actually feels like to show up for yourself, for other people. And that's what we need in this time. So, you know, but unless you're told how to do it, though, you just have to depend on sort of role models and lucky quirks of genetics and whatever else. But what I think is really interesting about this time we're living in is that you're seeing an explosion of practice, you know, where there's a lot more discussion around meditation, around mindfulness. Also, the yoga is part of this, you know, the kind of trauma world that's exploding with new practices. So people are kind of realizing that, you know, I don't need to just be born with my condition and just go in automatic. Like, there's actually stuff I can do about my situation that is very empowering. And as you get empowered, as you get switched on to this more sane, kind of open-hearted thing, everyone else starts to kind of get turned on around you, and there's like this feedback.
Totally, 100%. I mean, you see people in your lives that you see them like that, and you want to be that way. It's attractive. It's beautiful because it's a very authentic, true way of being, you know?
Yeah.
Totally.
That's the thing. Being real, being honest, is what the practice is all about. It takes you into the reality of what's actually happening with you and what's actually happening in the moment. And when you communicate that to people, you can feel it. Like, you can feel the pin drop. It's like there's a kind of gathering of presence, and it starts to sound, you know, you start to understand what the mystics are talking about what the deep end of this is. The deep end is really presence with your life. And as everyone else starts to feel more presence with their lives, and then they start to notice how amazing it is to be here in the first place.
How amazing life is.
It's literally like changing glasses, like seeing seeing the world through one shade and then changing them and seeing them in a different lens.
What you guys are sort of pointing to that's really important to get is that you could say that that's the basic glass. That's the glasses that we all have. We're born with this.
We're born with that one. It's kind of coming back to it.
Totally.
Back to it. It's what happens is life gets in the way, and we start to put all these habits over top that kind of like where we forget that there's a natural basic goodness of being a human being. And so practice is like trying to point us back to that basic goodness, which is right here all the time. It's in consciousness. Right. It's just you have to know how to orient to it.
Totally. And I would say, like, for everyone watching that is interested in meditation and feels like it's this massive undertaking to kind of take on, it's like, just start, you know, because this is really something for you to make you feel better. It's not for anyone else at the beginning. It's really going to help your life. And, you know, I think we can do a little guided meditation at the end of this if you want. But yeah, it's really something that you should just attempt.
I think, what do you think matters the most in the meditation practice? Like, I feel like I would say consistency is really important. Like, I think if you just doing it every day for 10 minutes, like going on the Calm app and starting with Jeff's, you know, how to meditate for 30 days, I think consistency is the thing that has shown me the most results. Like, I feel like if you do it, you know, once a week or once a month, you won't really, it's really once you start practicing every single day that you can see the transformation, you can feel it seep into like your life.
Yeah, I'd say there's a few things that are important. By far the most important is the attitude. And the attitude is, it's not a big deal. You're just existing. You're just sitting and being okay with your own existence. That's basically it. And the more you make a big deal of thinking it's got to be something, the further away you're getting from the essence of what meditation is. So when I guide a practice, I'll show you guys, I'll set it up in a way that's like, you can't screw it up. You're just sitting here with your eyes closed.
Yeah, mess it up.
So having that attitude, first of all, is like, give yourself a huge break. Know that it's like this super not a big deal. That just sets up the right attitude in the sit. And then there's the stuff around how to keep it going as a habit. You know, it's true what you say. It's more important to do it more often than to do it for longer periods. So consistency and frequency. So like, you know, plug it in every day, even if it's just for 5 minutes, for 1 minute, for 10 minutes, whatever, just to give your nervous system the taste of what it feels like.
What it's like.
It's like that's the training, you know. So you just tap in. You get this sort of taste every day, as opposed to once a week, you know, you sit for an hour and you're just like in this grim struggle.
I mean, that sounds impossible.
Yeah.
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 Totally. I feel when we talk about this stuff that it's the most important thing in the world.
100%.
Because number one, you're looking out for yourself and you're really taking care of yourself. This is like 1 minute, like you said, 10 minutes of real self-compassion when you just sit there and you try to do something for you. And it's really, I think one thing I really want to talk about is like, I think currently, I think for us especially, we have this mode that we get into where we go, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to black out. I'm going to put a phase in. I'm just going to do it and we become tough and we have this tough attitude and we end up getting through it. But at the end of the thing that we have to do, we end up feeling weaker instead of going through life with like a more open heart and a more open, you know, feeling in our bodies. And I think
it's like for anybody that like wants to be better and wants to improve, there's like, you feel like there's this approach to white knuckling and being like, okay, this is how I'm going to change. I'm going to like, let's say you're it's like you want to be more confident or more calm. It's like, you're like, I'm going to fake it till I make it. I'm going to fake confidence. I'm going to fake or whatever. And it's not coming from like a healing, like loving place.
You might get to a place of success, but at that place you find you have a lot of pent up tension and anxiety. Yeah. So to start from a place of compassion, although it may be harder at the beginning,
it is hard,
which is very hard, ends up leaving you in a better place at the end.
I think that's been something that the meditation practice has really helped both of us with, is I think we both have a tendency to like, you know, kind of like
self-whip.
You know, like berate ourselves for
silly things.
Yeah, totally. And for not doing our best in this area, and we messed up in this area. And I think a place that meditation really helps is in non-judgment and self-compassion. I remember Jeff has this meditation called Self-Love Bomb. And he's like, if this feels weird to you, you got to do it twice.
Totally. That shifts my core. Because, I mean, I was going through a tough time, and Camila was actually the first to say, I think you need to practice self-compassion. And I was like, I do. All day I'm like, it's no big deal. I mean, and then I'm like, oh no, I really need to practice self-compassion.
Because when your instinct is when your instinct when you mess up is like, God, oh, why did I do that? Oh my God, I'm so frustrated with myself. You don't even realize that you're doing that, and you don't realize that doesn't help anybody.
No.
And you don't realize that all of these habits that you have in your mind it's like, you shouldn't judge yourself because they're just things that you've been practicing unconsciously, and you can change them. You can work on changing them and become aware of them now. And that's all, like, if you're trying, that's like all you need to you just need to exist to love yourself. Like, you don't have to do anything to earn that.
Jeff, what's step one for
You're
people?
already here.
You're already here. You did it.
It's like, so the whole thing is that we develop, you know, we're young, we don't know we're developing these habits, and we just want to make our parents happy. We want to make our world happy. So we develop all these compensation patterns where we're like, oh, I got to do this, or I got to do this. And then we internalize them. And then it's sort of like, you got an inner part of you going now, you got to do that. You got to be better. You got to be good. And so we start to think that we need to perform in a particular way in order to be accepted. But actually, you're already being accepted by reality. You were born, you're here. Reality.
And actually, the funny part about it is,
I got you. But instead, is like in this sort of freaked out mode. And so you, part of the practice is realizing that there's this basic generosity around being alive, and that you're allowed to rest and be who you are. And I mean, I'm telling you, when you guide these practices with people, people have tears coming down their faces.
Oh my God.
I mean, we have multiple times, like,
you're like, and that's the biggest thing you could do. The most compassionate thing you could tell somebody is that you're allowed to be here. Just be who you are is good enough. And it's just like, it's like they don't trust it. And practice is really the practice of trusting that. And as you do that, your heart just opens. It opens for yourself and for everybody who doesn't know. Everybody who's trying so hard to just get by. And it's just, and they're getting hammered. And you just, so this is why you're with meditation, boom, it's like you just start walking around with this huge sense of compassion for people and seeing how everyone's trying to do the best they can. And then you end up in a service path.
Totally, yeah.
Which is why you guys are doing this video. You know, it starts to open and you just want to share the love, you know.
Because the truth is everybody is going through the same things.
100%.
Everybody is dealing with the same emotions. Everybody's trying to manage their emotions and their mind and the hurts that they carry and the insecurities that they carry. Everybody's trying to be happy. And that's why this is so important to us, is because it's really, it's helping us, and we're seeing change.
I mean, it's life. I mean, it's actually the most important thing. You can be successful and you can have, you know, every material thing you can dream of, but at the end of the day, all you're left with is how you feel on the inside. So start working on that now, you know?
Totally.
I guess, like, I don't know if we wanted to do a little meditation, but for everyone at home, like, I think this is a really amazing opportunity to kind of just sit. You can either close your eyes, you can kind of have them a little bit open, whatever you're kind of comfortable with, but we should do something, don't you think?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, I'll guide you in a practice, and then afterwards maybe I can say a little bit about, because there's a lot of good resources out there for free right now because of this time. So people would
you like to do that first or after?
I think we might do it after.
Yeah, I'll do it after. You know,
great.
Let's go into an actual practice.
Perfect. Let's do it.
Okay, so maybe
we're super excited.
Yeah.
We're such big fans of you.
Well, I'm so happy. I'm big fans of you guys too. It's funny. Sometimes after meditation, we'll do dance parties or something where I guide a practice, and I believe
we're down.
Songs have been on there, so
amazing.
You've given it back. Okay, so I guess the first thing to say is if you're driving. I mean, first off, if you're driving, you probably shouldn't be watching Instagram Live. But,
no.
You know, you want to be in a situation where it's safe for you to either close your eyes or have them open at half-mast. People think you need to close your eyes for meditation, but it's really what's comfortable for you. So some people like to have their eyes kind of open, looking at the ground in front of them. You know, I kind of experiment with both.
It's vulnerable, isn't it?
Super vulnerable. This is amazing.
Yeah.
It's what feels comfortable, you know. And then this first thing, we'll take a couple breaths to start. So, you know, I like the breaths because they kind of just organize my nervous system a bit. So I take a deep breath to begin. And you're breathing in, you're sort of stretching up the spine. And then the out breath, that's the downward motion. So, and you can let the out breath be a little bit long and kind of imagine that as you're breathing out any tension. The out breath is actually related to the parasympathetic response. So it's sort of this rest piece. So you breathe out, you let the diaphragm relax. And then you breathe in, stretching up. When I breathe in, I kind of, you know, it's like you're oxygenating the body. And I also kind of imagine I'm breathing up, you know, sustenance from the earth, like I'm finding some strength in the posture. And then again, with the out breath, just Breathing out, you can kind of soften your forehead as you breathe out and soften your cheeks and your jaw. And on the next out breath, even soften your shoulders, your belly, your hands. Your hands can be on your lap or on your knees. The idea is that this is an opportunity to just sort of deliberately notice where you're tense. See if you can breathe out a bit, landing on your seat, wherever you are. So we're already meditating here. And the most important thing is our attitude. So this is the equanimity muscle that these guys have been talking about. And this just means, can you sit in a way that's not uptight? So you're easygoing, you're gonna let it be imperfect. So you're gonna let the sounds be there around you. You might be in a situation that's kind of loud, that's okay. You're not gonna get uptight about it. You're gonna let yourself feel all the things you're feeling. You might have like back pain, or you might wanna go to the bathroom or whatever. You're gonna let all that stuff be there. All the feelings can be there too. So this is the thing we do right at the beginning. We just go, I'm going to let myself be my imperfect self in this imperfect situation for this moment. And I'm not going to get bent out of shape about it. I'm going to keep myself dignified and open and just do the experiment. So believe it or not, some people like to sit just here. They just sit inside this stance of openness, and they just enjoy existing, and they let their nervous system kind of start to settle. And that's a legit way to go. Or you can work with a home base. So that just means some really simple thing that you decide to pay attention to in a way that's not a big deal. So it could be the feeling of the breath, like the feeling of the breath coming in your nose or in your belly. That might be something you want to pay attention to. Or it could be maybe the feeling of the air on your skin. That could be kind of nice. Or the warmth in your hands. Or it can be sounds. You know, you can work with like, you know, a background fan or a vent or the sound of the fridge. All this is just, it's kind of an anchor, a home base, something to get curious about as a way to let your mind settle a little bit. So try this for a bit, and I'll come back in a little bit. Good, so we're setting a new record for least exciting Instagram Live. And it's good. So the idea is
Most helpful.
Exactly, most helpful. So just keep going here now. Of course, the mind, you know, it wanders. You start thinking about stuff. You're like, oh man, I'm bored. I can't do this or whatever. In my case, I'm like, oh shit, am I talking too fast? Because I often do.
In my case, am I moving too much?
Yeah, exactly. So you just notice that, and then you just come back. You come back to your home base. If it's the feeling of the breath, you just go back to noticing the breath or noticing the air on your skin or sounds, and you just let the thinking be in the background. And this, again, is the equanimity muscle is being cool with that, is knowing that there's always going to be stuff happening in the background, from your own thinking to sounds, and you're okay. You just recommit to whatever you're interested in. And a lot of this is about learning how to be okay with simple things. So the breath is not exciting, but the belief or the judgment that it's not exciting is something you're bringing to it. It's not in the breath. Can you get underneath that? And in this soft way, just notice a sensation, notice a feeling, and just kind of be like, oh yeah, this is kind of nice. Can I just kind of chill out here with this? And and not have a judgment about it. Enjoy it even. Give yourself this break. And remember, this could not be less of a big deal. You're just sitting here with your eyes closed, so you can't really do it wrong. Something else I like to tune into is just the sense of community too. All these thousands of people meditating together in the same exact moment, connected through time and space, and it's pretty beautiful. You can feel that in your heart. Can you let yourself actually have this simple thing, this simple rest? And so much of this is about patience, patience. Can you be patient with yourself? Things take a while to slow down, but every time you come back, it's like a muscle rep. Every time you practice being open and not uptight, it's like a muscle rep. You're building up this basic human capacity to sit in the middle of your life and find that it's good. And this is so good for us. So good for just another minute here. Just seeing if you can enjoy this last minute of rest. And for the last little bit, I mean, you can really just let go. Just let yourself coast, let yourself drift. You don't need to pay attention to anything in any special way. You could just be here. Sometimes I like to finish, just I picture somebody I care about, and just send them some good vibes. Like I got my little 6-month-old son. I just picture him smiling, and I kind of say, yeah, maybe well. And other people too, people in your life, near and far, send out a little, pulse of caring, maybe well. And it's a mental this thing, it's just this connecting to it's more like an acknowledgement of these people I'm connected to. They're in my life. May they be well. May they be healthy and safe. May they find their centers. May you find your center. It's basic human dignity that's available to all of us. And that's meditation.
You know, something that I wanted to say is so important at this time is that I know, wow, that's amazing. We have 40,000 people sat through us with that. That makes me so happy.
Crazy. That's crazy, man.
That's amazing. I just want to say that, you know, this is a really, really tough time because I know a lot of people's parents are getting laid off from jobs, and a lot of households and a lot of families. This is a massive curveball and a massive, you know, kind of mess up of life. And I just want to say, you know, as kids and as children, try to be extra loving and extra patient with your parents as they're doing their best right now. And nobody was expecting this. This was not something that anyone could have, you know, wound down to. This was just a kind of smack in the face. And so I think using meditation can really help you build that patience and that love for the people in your lives who need it the most right now, especially since we're all stuck in houses together. Don't use it as time to want to be, you know, away, but use it as time to care and be patient with each other more and more, you know.
I mean, that's the practice, right? The more you learn to find a kind of like stillness and openness in yourself, the more you really start to notice who other people are. You start to have more space for them, more space for their imperfections, you know? So that's why there's this double thing where you're accepting yourself and all the ways in which you imagine you're not measuring up. And the act of learning how to do that is what allows you to really do that for everybody else. So this outer division, this thing just collapses. The kind of way in which we separate ourselves out, that starts to become more and more clear that that's not really, you know, it's not really the most effective strategy for having a good life. And so you just start to learn how to live in that more open way.
Absolutely, yeah. So you said you wanted to say some places that people could go to?
Yeah, I mean, what's amazing about right now is everyone's stuck inside, and there's all of these online connections. So there's this outpouring of free resources that are happening now. You mentioned apps, like I'm on the Calm app, and they have
definitely recommend that,
which is great. And they have a free page actually of lots of, if you go take a deep breath, they have a free page of all these resources. So you can listen to guided meditations there from their various teachers. I think there's one from me there too. And then
highly recommend the 30 Days by Jeff Warren.
Yeah, I think that's a great one to start, especially
Seriously.
if you're new to the practice. I think that's really great for everybody watching. We definitely recommend that one on Calm.
Yeah, that's a good one. And there's another app I'd recommend is 10% Happier.
Totally.
They're amazing. They have a terrific free resource right now too. They have their coronavirus guide.
Amazing.
And they also are giving free app subscriptions to healthcare workers. So if you're in the healthcare world or field, 10% Happier, you just have to send them an email and they'll give you a free.
Amazing.
And I have courses there too. I have a book called Meditation for Fidgety Skeptics with Dan Harris, and there's a course of that name on the 10% Happier app.
The good thing about that app is they have these videos basically before the meditation. You kind of get some context of where they're going, and you feel a lot more involved in the meditation. But any app about meditation, if you can find Jeff on it, go ahead.
Well, I should say also there's a free app called Insight Timer. Insight Timer is totally free. There's also a ton of free stuff online. So like I have on my website, I do every Sunday night and Wednesday at noon. So Sunday at 8 and Wednesday at noon Eastern Standard Time, I basically have this community. I just guide a live sit. I answer questions about practice, and it's just got this nice community vibe. And a lot of now. Actually, 10% Happier, they have 10% Happier live at 3 o'clock every day, Monday to Friday. They have different like world-class teachers on, and it's totally free. So
amazing.
I mean, you're seeing this. It's sort of like meditation's first responders. This big explosion.
Yeah.
People coming out and saying, okay, like we're stuck here anyway. Let's like do these practices.
Let's do it.
Totally.
Yeah.
And I mean, we can totally do this again, like whenever. If you guys want to do this, we're more than happy to do meditations. And if Jeff wants to do this, we love this.
Yeah, next time we can answer some questions too. We can get questions from people and ask you. And
let's do it. I'll tell you what I would love.
Tell me. and
democratizing.
Jeff, you cut out. Sorry, man. Start over.
Am I here? Okay.
Yeah, you're there.
Well, one of the things I'm super into is democratizing access to practices and showing that you don't have to be some Buddha in a cave to guide a practice. And so I actually do trainings on teaching people how to, hold space for others and hold a container and meditation and just to guide a simple, basic practice. Because I think we need that now. We're in this time where our mental health needs are too urgent to wait for professionals or experts only. We have to start to depend on each other. So I would love to, give you guys some tips and then maybe
no problem.
each guide a practice, which would be sweet.
We'd love to do that. We would love to.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's make a plan to do this. Let's
Sounds great.
Cool.
Do it as a regular weekly thing or whatever. I'm down. I'll get you guys to guide some too.
Amazing.
And we're just going to make this meditation thing go viral.
Totally. Let's do it. And to everyone watching, I just want to say thank you guys so much for sticking with us. It means the world. And I think that you guys are so amazing for doing this for yourself, whether you meditated or whether you just sat and listened. I think this is all for you and the people you love. And yeah, so thank you.
And we love you and we care about you.
We love you and care about you.
And we're all in this human thing together.
That's very true.
We're all in it together.
Jeff, thank you so much, my friend. Thank you very much.
Thank you guys. You guys are doing such a good thing to get this out there. I'm just so blown away by both of you. You're so articulate and you got good hearts. And
thank you. We really appreciate you. And he's gone. And he's gone forever.
He's back.
We lost you, Jeff.
Yeah, we lost you. We can't hear you.
Are you there? I think we lost the audio somehow. Did you mute yourself? Well, we're just guessing that you're saying incredibly wise, profound statements right now. We can't hear you.
We can't.
But Jeff,
we're trying to
we
read your
really
lips.
appreciate you. We'll see you next time.
Thank you so much, Jeff.
Thank you, everyone, for watching.
Thank you, everybody. We love you so much. Take care of yourself.